Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Wrestling for the Weekend. It's December 10th, 2023. I'm with Jake Booty and with Brendan Blaze from the mean streets of Georgia. What's going on, guys?
Shit, not much.
Same old, same old.
Excellent, excellent. So no Chris this week. He had some stuff he had needed to take care of this weekend. So we've got
Good
the
company
eight.
didn't want to look like a huge dork.
I know, but hey,
That's all it
what
is.
can we do? So we've got the A team today of myself, Brendan Blaze, and Jake Booty. Let's go. So we're going to talk about a couple things this week. We got the NXT Deadline pay-per-view, or PLE, my mistake. We're going to start that to review. We've got what's on the thumbnail, which is Christian Cage against Adam Copeland, and AEW's trip to Montreal this week, which I thought was three pretty fun shows, honestly. And we'll preview the week that comes and the usual stuff we do. And yeah, but we'll get right into it. We're going to get right into NXT because unfortunately Blaze didn't get a chance to watch it. So he's going to have to give just some commentary on the personnel involved. I think that's fine.
Hell.
but we'll start with that so we can get that out of the way. Then we can go into AEW and the tournament talk. So, pretty fun pay-per-view, quite frankly. I just wrapped it up not too long ago. I didn't have a chance to watch the pre-show, so we're gonna start with that, and we're gonna get you, Jake, to kind of talk about that.
It was actually of Nathan Frazier. They never put on a bad match. It was good. I think there are some seeds maybe planning it with Nathan Frazier's heel turn.
Okay.
He did get a little frustrated a few times, and he was reluctant to shake, but they ended up shaking at the end. So I don't know if they're just giving him a little bit more edge. You're going to go full blown heel. But I honestly feel that one of those two guys should be the one to go after the North American title.
That makes sense.
From Dragon Lee, because we need it back on an NXT talent since our boy isn't going to be back for a while.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Wesley. That was
heartbreaking.
I didn't get to watch it live, but I saw the video and the tweet of him, and that was just this Tuesday that just passed, right? That he had to give it up. So not even a week before the show, he has a major back surgery. That really sucks. He could realistically probably going to be out for like a year, right? So that's
8
rough.
to 12 months is what I've seen.
Yeah, and with back, even if he comes back early, probably going to be easing back into it. No pun intended. Just because those kinds of injuries just suck for wrestling, man.
Yeah, I don't even know where it happened or how it happened, but
it could be wear and tear, honestly.
That's crazy because that match they put on a hell of a match last week, and he won it. He didn't seem to be any worse for wear on that. So it's obviously something happened between then and now, because I doubt they would have had him win the match if that was going to be the result. But
yeah, it could have been something they found out after the match. Maybe he tweaked something. It felt off, but didn't feel too bad. Then, upon further investigation, oh no, this is really bad. It could have been some training stuff too. It could have been an injury that's been bothering him too, that just got re-aggravated or something. Either way, it just really sucks for the guy. In my opinion, and I know Brendan probably agrees, and probably you too, Jay. He's probably the greatest North American champion.
Oh yeah,
has the best reign. Very similar to Orange Cassidy's reign, quite frankly, as far as impact on the business and that title, right? Elevating that title.
It's like him, Mello, Gargano. That's probably the top three of that title.
Lucha always loves your shirts, man. It is a sick shirt. Please keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who else would be up there in the U.S. title. Nobody else really stands out except for Velveteen Dream, and I'm not gonna mention him.
Yeah, let's not go there.
I mean, Johnny was there for a minute, right? I would say that's probably the second one.
He had 3 reigns, so yeah, and Mello's made
and Mello, of course. You forget about Mello's because he had his really good men's title run as well, right?
So. Yeah, definitely Wesley took a situation that was going to be could have ended his career. Could have been detrimental.
Yeah.
Losing his tag team partner when they were on such a hot roll, and no one saw him as a singles guy, and then he just killed it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, like a week or two ago, like I thought he was dead in the water when he got fired, when his partner got fired, but he took the ball and ran with it. So
He did.
proud of him.
Especially for a guy that size traditionally in WWE as a singles guy. I think it's a fair assumption to be like kind of a bit worried about where he might end up, right? Like it's completely fair.
Yeah.
Especially that tag team wrestling is not even like that popular in WWE. So a guy coming from that's a specialist. I'm really glad that Shawn Michaels saw the potential in him and really pushed him. And man, it sucks that he's out, but I think even when he comes back, he's gonna be pretty over.
Like I said, hell, fuck going for the North American title when he comes back. Put the world title on him, the NXT title when he gets back. Fuck it,
Yeah,
I don't care.
And it was Chris a while ago, like when they first started doing the singles push. He just comes off so naturally in his promos. He's just the most natural, likable guy. So it is a shame.
You can't teach that stuff either on the babyface side. Either you have it or you don't. It's much easier to teach that stuff on the heel side, but to be a natural babyface that comes off genuine, that stuff doesn't grow on trees. It's really important. It's really important to have guys like that. Quite honestly, like if he's going to be gone for a year, like I might even just like bring him back on the main roster at that point.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, does he really have that much more to learn on NXT other than getting a world title run? But not everybody's going to get one of those, right?
True.
Nah. I think I think it really depends on what the landscape is. That at that
a lot
point
can
in time,
change.
a year is a long ways away. So
especially in wrestling, man, we've seen it.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of crap that's happened this year in wrestling in general. It's been pretty wild, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta think that a lot of the guys will be gone. Like even Trick might probably be gone about a year from now. So it's like
I could see Trick.
Really have no.
Yeah, no, I don't think you're wrong. I can see Trick and Mello going up at the same time, and I think it could happen like as early as like the Raw or SmackDown after Mania.
I think Trick might be a little too green to go up with because Melo's ready. Trick may need a little bit more, but I mean, we could talk. We'll get to the main event. And we'll talk about Trick more during that. I mean, not the main event, but the match there.
It's good to see Axiom get a lot of time though. Like I saw he got a match on the main roster not too long ago too. So that's pretty interesting.
Axiom's dope. It's crazy how much more personality he has with a mask on than he did when he was a kid.
That's right. It is a kid. I forgot about that. Yeah. We can move on to the first match, which was actually Dragon Lee against Dominic Mysterio for the NXT North American title, which we were just talking about that title. What did you think about the match, Booty? For me, I didn't think the match was bad at all. I thought Dominic was pretty effective as a heel. A bit of like I wouldn't say it was sloppy, but like there's a bit of miscommunications here and there that weren't the best. But overall, I thought the match was fine. Thought Dragon Lee going over was very interesting and very cool. I'm hoping that he gets a run with the title because they already did this once with Dom with the short reign and then getting it back. I wouldn't really like doing that again.
I don't want Dom to have it back. No, I just want.
No, I don't think so.
I just want an NXT talent to have it back.
Yeah,
like Dragon Lee's not an NXT talent anymore. He's been getting played up on SmackDown.
That's true.
Like, I mean, if it's gonna be somebody cool, they can have him do double duty. Having Ray out there was whatever. For some reason, Booker T was all up Ray's ass that entire fucking segment. It was weird. I don't know. Like, it was really weird. The match itself, it was fine. Dom's good.
He's very fun.
He's grown into the role, and he's a fine worker. And Dragon Lee's obviously a good worker. And I saw Roosh put out the tweet about him. That was nice.
Of course, his brother.
Yeah, it's his brother. But it was a good one.
It was a good tweet by Luch. I agree. But Dom's been having a hell of a year. Like, I don't think the match was anything to go home about. I really like the finish. The finish was really well choreographed and really well executed. Dragon Lee hit the Destino really well. Thought the crowd was like a bit shockingly flat for the Dragon Lee winning.
It's
But
Connecticut. Connecticut sucks.
yeah, I see. I wasn't sure if it because I know they did a decent amount of people in the crowd. I didn't feel like other than like for Trick Williams and a few other points, Trick Williams was really over. But like but it's hard to tell if it was just the mix, like the audio mix, if it was where the crowd didn't sound that loud. But yeah, that was just one thing I noticed. Like, yeah, I felt like they were a bit subdued here and there, especially in the main event too. They were kind of dead for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I've been through Bridgeport, but I don't know. I don't know what kind of crowd they are. I mean, I lived in Connecticut for a year, and I didn't really care for it. So
yeah.
But,
Either way, like it wasn't a bad crowd, but it was like I was expecting a bit louder for
yeah, they
Dom of all people losing the belt. You know, like, it's a big deal.
There was the we want mommy chant. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
but
I think that maybe it's the issue there might have just been that like Dragon Lee's just not over enough yet. So
that could also be
and that's nothing against Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee's awesome. But Dom is like really over is more what I'm saying, right? He's a heel, but he's very over and very popular. So I was expecting a bit more of a huge pop, but I can also forgive it because this clearly was kind of like a hot shot decision. Obviously, it was.
Yeah, it was definitely last minute.
Wesley was supposed to clearly win the title here, I think. So,
obviously,
definitely.
So
it's supposed to be his moment.
Shit happens, right?
It does. It's unfortunate, like that they didn't have more time because maybe if they could have done the 4-way, throwing Nathan Frazier.
Ooh, that could have been cool. Match. Yeah, that would have been a banger.
I think that would have been a very good match.
Yeah. I think that would have been a more effective opening match too. That might have been a bit more intense and gotten the crowd maybe a bit more like, "Whoa, look at all this crazy shit going on!" Right?
Yeah, because Dom's good, but Dom's doesn't do crazy shit. Like he's not
that kind of wrestler.
Yeah,
he's
a safe luchador.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I agree with you. Like that's maybe not the best choice for an opener. The match was fine though, and I'm really happy for Dragon Lee. We can move on unless you have anything else to add to that one.
No yawning.
Next up was actually, I'd say probably my second favorite match of the night. Honestly, both the Iron Survivor matches were my favorite matches.
Yeah, you've never seen that. You've never seen that match before, right? You didn't.
No, I only saw highlights. I think I watched one of them. I think I did watch one of them. But this was really good. This match was awesome. I'll read off the competitors real quick because I definitely don't know them by heart. Blair Davenport won, defeated Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legends, Kalani Jordan, and Fallon Helly. So my only complaint about these matches is the first 5 to 10 minutes because they slow it down to a point where it's like, yes, they sometimes get pins in, but like it's some pretty like slow, boring wrestling to me.
It could be 3 minutes instead of 5.
That would be better. And then you would get a longer amount of time with all 5 people in the ring as well. I would like that more. That's my only real critique, and like it kind of resulted in a little bit of like, especially the 2 people in this match that started off like they were lacking a little bit of chemistry.
Yeah, I don't think they've interacted a whole lot. I don't think Fallon and Blair have interacted a whole lot.
Yeah, Blair is a really interesting specimen to me. Very much like Dragunov, feels awesome wrestlers that feel really out of place from NXT a little bit, just because of their style is so freaking physical compared to everybody else, and they wrestle that more like European, Japanese strong style, right?
It should have been Fallon and Tiffany to start off with. They have the history of they're the ones that have like the animosity.
Yeah.
So
and I get why I get why they did it because Blair won and she got one of the pins early. So like that booking was smart. I thought like most of the match was booked very, very smart. Blair looked great. It was good to see Tiffany like get frustrated and not just dominate. So it kind of adds extra wrinkles to her character and to her booking, which is really good because she needs something to do when she's not champion, right? So that's good.
She's so good that it's insane how good she is for how little she's been around. Like she has only been wrestling for like 2 fucking years, and she's already got like a lot of the shit down.
Yeah. I thought her and Blair were by far the standouts in this match. They looked amazing.
Yeah.
They both look great in this match.
Yeah, Tiff should definitely be the next female up. I think.
I don't think she's long for. I
No.
don't think she's long for NXT. She's got all the tools. She's got the look. I can't
Yeah.
see WWE wasting their time because that's the thing, right? Like the longer you leave people in NXT, and this is always a potential risk. There's always the risk for injury. So
Yeah.
the longer you keep them in NXT when they're ready, the longer you risk them getting injured and maybe never even being the same again. Like look what happened to. Like I know she wasn't ready yet, but the girl who does the like fancy flip finisher, like, she's been out for a while, right?
Oh,
She was
Nikita
getting-
Lyons.
No, not Nikita Lyons. She does like
Oh,
the Soul
Sol
Snatcher.
Ruka.
Sol Ruka, yeah.
Yeah.
So like she was getting really over, and like this has nothing to do with not being called up, but like just an example of like you can get injured off anything at any time, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of injuries going around for the ladies there for a while. So yeah, I'm shocked Tiffany
In
hasn't
both
gotten
companies,
caught.
honestly, it's been crazy how many women got injured this year. It's been really bad luck.
I think if they don't throw Jade up soon, that Tiffany should go up and Tiffany Bianca will be like a
That'd be a
multi-feud.
great, yeah. I'd love that. I mean, and
Yeah.
they've got Tiffany, like Becky, like they can reignite that feud at any time, which was really smart of them to do it in NXT, right? Because now whenever Tiffany's back up, they can go like, oh, built-in history
Yeah.
right there.
There we go.
And Tiffany's already way better on the mic than Bianca is, so it'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah, but it was I thought it was good booking that I had predicted Blair was winning just because I know Bird Lady's a face, and I didn't really see.
Calm down, Wind.
I didn't really see Tiffany getting a rematch like this soon.
Yeah.
Because she
No,
doesn't really need it, right?
No, not at all. And I think, unfortunately, I think Lyra is just a placeholder for now. I think
Blair's gonna win.
I think either Blair's gonna win or Cora's gonna get.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess we'll get into that. So Cora Jade showed up. See, I did not like this, and it has nothing to do. Like I know you're not a fan of Cora, but for me, this has nothing to do with Cora in this specific case. I just felt like it took all the fucking momentum and heat off of Blair Davenport, who just worked her ass off and is the heel in this match, and gets out heeled on the ramp. That was one step of overbooking, in my opinion. It was not needed. This could have been done on this Tuesday's show instead.
It definitely could again. I know they wanted to give Cora her big moment on the PLE, but that's the thing is they push Cora to like she's special and she's just not. Like
Well, she hasn't done anything yet.
she's just a very middle of the road talent wise, and she's a lower end promo. She'd seem better with her promo later on. Like maybe she's been getting promo lessons the last 4 months while
Sure.
her city's healed up. But like I don't know, man. She's just the mean girl. I just don't like the character. I like.
I mean, it's a pretty overdone character, right? Like we've seen this character from like a million other female talent in a million other companies. It's the mean girl thing has definitely been. I mean, we've seen there's a faction of that already in AEW, right?
Yeah, there
always is one, but yeah, that was my only issue with it. Is like I just felt it kind of took away from Blair's moment, and like what I'm guessing what they're going to do now is they're going to do some sort of 4-way at what's the next PLE for NXT? Is it New Year's Evil?
That's not a PLE though. It's just
a weekly special kind of thing. Okay,
yeah,
TV special. Yeah. So I'm guessing they'll add one more face to that match and make it a 4-way. So it's like there's 2 faces and two heels. They might just do 2 heels against 1 face, and if that's the case, then I think then I actually think Bird Lady might go over. Sorry, that's what I keep hearing her refer to online, and I always forget her name. So she's Bird Lady.
Lyra's all right. She's just a little bland.
I was shocked. I mean, I was kind of shocked they put the title on her from Becky. Like, I have no problems with it. It was just unexpected.
It's the Irish hand down torch.
She's Irish as well. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, she started out in the same area Becky did, the same school.
Okay.
Like
that's cool. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, like she hit like when Becky was already on her way up, Lyra started, so they had a little bit of a thing when Becky was ascending and she was starting. So that's why they did that, which is
I don't
cool.
mind that. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah,
That's cool. That's harmless. And
yeah,
like people like I never really mind once in a while putting like a world title or a major title on like somebody you don't expect because it keeps the show fresh, right? You know, it gives that anything can happen feeling, which you always kind of want in wrestling. Plus, in NXT, it's like you can't just go safe booking all the time. They got so much room to take risks down there. So it's not a mistake at all. I don't think it's a good idea.
yeah. And they also like had Rhea give her a little bit of a rub earlier in the year too, so they've
Good.
planted some seeds that that like Rhea said she had her eye on her and stuff like that. So
Right, right. But yeah, great
that's
match
cool.
though. Like I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the gimmick of this match. Like I said, I think they could maybe tweak it a little bit so the beginning of the match is less boring, or I shouldn't say boring, less slow. There you go. But yeah, I really like this match. It feels very TNA, but not in a bad way. Like TNA had some fire types of matches, and I think this is cool, man. I really like it.
Yeah, I like it too. They did some cool spots. I hate to admit it, Lash Legends is improving.
She
I
was
mean,
good. She was cool in this match. She
I,
did just enough.
yeah,
She
I
was
hate to
bad
say it
before, I
because
know.
oh, and I still don't like her. Like she's charismatic, but not in a way that I care for. It's kind of like just annoying charismatic to me. Like
Right.
which is which is perfect that she's with Noam
With
Dar. So
Metaphor, yeah, that's a good pairing. I find like
that
one of
was
my
a cool
first.
spot. When Metaphor came out and blocked the pod, so Tiffany and Fallon
That
couldn't
was
get
great.
out. That
Yeah,
was a good. That was a cool spot.
that was probably my favorite spot of the match actually, because Tiffany did like a really cool salt off the
Yeah,
top of the thing, and then like the other girl bumped pretty gnarly on the top.
Fallon went right through the fucking table.
Yeah, that
But
was cool. I felt bad for her.
yeah,
All she really did was bump this match.
I love Fallon. I think she's great. But yeah, no, it was. Other than that, it was a good match. I really wasn't expecting Blair to get the win, but it was cool that she did. The other girl, the new girl, the rookie, Kalani Jordan, is that her name?
Kalani Jordan, yeah, she looked good.
Yeah, yeah, she's got a good future. She's athletic. She should be, barring any injuries. Hopefully she has some charisma and some mic skills.
Yeah,
But
it's still pretty early for her, right? She's
yeah,
fairly new. How long has she been
yeah,
on the main NXT roster?
like 3 months,
Oh
not
wow, yeah,
even.
that's
Yeah,
not long.
yeah, she was right in the breakout tourney. She lost in the finals to Lola.
Lola Vice. Okay, cool,
Yeah,
excellent. All right, well, we'll move on to the next one. Next, we had there was like a backstage segment with Hayes and Trick Williams. So that
yeah,
was a thing where told him to go whoop his what's his name? Trick told him to go whoop his ass. So that was kind
yeah.
of it wasn't really like anything special. It was there.
No,
It
neither
pushed the
was the
story
match
forward.
itself.
No, yeah, we can talk about the match. It won't be a very long conversation because
No,
I did not like this match. I straight up did not like this match. I thought Mello did his best to make this match interesting. I don't know, man. People who know me know I'm not a huge fan of Lexus King, um, but I have seen him have good matches before, and I just didn't think this was one of them. I thought nothing really cool happened other than the finish. I thought the finish was good. Like he looked like he really hurt him, so that was cool. But yeah, like I don't know. Like it was kind of slow, kind of plodding. It was kind of a TV match, if I'm being honest. It did not feel like a pay-per-view match to me.
yeah, it was, and then the ending of him be like, I didn't really attack him, but thanks for the PLE spotlight. It's just like,
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
I
like whatever.
the little bit I've seen of, I've not enjoyed it. I didn't really enjoy him too much in AEW either, so
yeah.
not surprised.
So I get what they're going for with that ending on the mic, but like again, I feel like that could have been done on Tuesday.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be able to get the PLE shine. So
yeah, I don't know. No, I'm saying like the PLE shine is fine, but like I would have revealed that like on Tuesday as opposed to right. I don't know. It didn't hit. The crowd did not care. Unfortunately,
it's a good thing OMB isn't watching this right now. He'd be crying. OMB would be shambles.
Yeah, he loves his Lexus King for sure. but he did. What I did like is that it did tie up to the end of the show, where Mello or where Trick was kind of like walking out, and then like it kind of ended with Mello kind of walking slowly behind him, where it
Yeah.
kind of looked like he was like there to back him up, but there was like that small inkling. I was like, oh, is he there to fuck him up? No, it's
There's
just
some. I'm not sure what's going to go on with Mello and Trick.
it's
I guess it's
intriguing.
a
Though.
Mello. It's gotten better. I really didn't care for it at first, but it's gotten better. Who knows? Maybe he is.
So what I'm thinking, and this is me, like I don't watch the show weekly, so this is my casual ass prediction, but it feels like to me, it feels like Melo's gonna screw Trick out of his during his match with Dragunov, and that's gonna probably set up
Probably.
their feud. And then once they feud, I think that's probably how Melo leaves NXT. He'll have like a
Probably be a
loser
loser leave NXT.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, it would be pretty easy to do that, and I think it would be effective.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, thanks for coming in, Trooper. And yeah, I agree with this too. Like, nobody thought Lexus King was winning this match whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like an odd chance of him cheating, but like, I don't know. Melo's book's so strong. There's like just no freaking way to me, right?
He's good. He's just really good.
He is him, right? So, but
Yeah, he's
I don't know. I don't have much else to say about the match because it wasn't.
Nah, we can move on.
Not really anything else to talk about. Next, we had the men's Iron Survivor Challenge, which was probably my favorite match.
That's one I do want to check out when I get the time.
It was
It
dope.
was good.
It was
It was
really good. Just really physical match. I really liked Tyler Bate in this match too. I thought he looked really good in his little tidy whiteys.
The dude is just. I mean, he's a small guy, and the match is all
I
monsters.
agree. Not this match, the match before. But yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. It was like he was just with all monsters, and he was held his own. He got three pinfalls. Like the dude, he's good. He's the big strong boy.
He was awesome. I really like how they booked this match too, because Trick looked like he was just kind of screwed. There's like
Yeah.
there's like 3 or 4 minutes left, and he was in the penalty box with 0 points. So you're like, oh, so like I knew who was winning because I saw the results last night. But had I not known that, I would have been like, oh my god, like there's no way this guy's winning. They did
Well,
a really good job.
During the live, I wish Chris was here because during the live, like halfway through the match, Chris is like, wouldn't it be something if somebody was in a penalty box and then they got out in the last minute and pinned all 4 people, so they just had the last minute to just win, and
That's
pretty
what
much
happened.
pretty
Wow,
much what happened.
that's the ending.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, like
crazy.
Trek had 0 pinfalls for the match, and then he gets out of the penalty box and he goes nuts. And like
Crazy.
the Braun one was insane because Braun went for the spear, and Trick went up and hit him with the knee as the spear was coming in. It was perfectly timed. It was sick.
Yeah,
It was great.
yeah,
And,
I gotta
and
check that out. Yeah,
it was good. You'd really like it. It was the best match on the card. And I thought like, man, Braun coming in and then spearing the shit out of everybody and getting 3 pins right off the bat, really, really good too. He looked awesome.
And Josh Briggs balled out because people
He's had what a great
people
match
had
for
no
him.
idea. People had no idea what he was, but Briggs is in it. He also maybe it's the flannel that makes him look smaller. I don't know, but he is fucking huge. Like he looked bigger than Dijak. And
Yeah, he
Dijak's a
looked
big
big.
boy.
Dijak shockingly felt like the least important person on this match, and I would have told you, I would have called you crazy had you told me that before the match started.
Yeah, I think it was somebody pointed out yesterday that Dijak's issue, like he's big, but he doesn't look intimidating because he doesn't have this area.
Traps.
Like the traps, the shoulder, like he's just like I don't know. He just doesn't. He's always had that issue. He's always been a slight big guy. Like, and he's gotten bigger over the years, like a little bit more built, but he just needs a little bit more up top. I think Dijak, like I was talking about it to you before we started, Dijak is a peculiar case because he's mad talented. The dude is good in the ring. He has a good move set. His current character is fucking hot garbage, but most of his characters have been hot garbage.
They
Like
have been. Yeah, I agree.
Retribution and all that stuff. It's like what he needs to do, because he's done at NXT. He's not going to do anymore. And maybe he can be part of a piecemeal tag team up on the main roster. Like
Maybe, yeah.
maybe put him with like a Bronson Reed, like somebody.
I wouldn't
have
hate
them
that.
feel-
I wouldn't hate that.
Like they could be effective, and maybe if they have like a mouthpiece or something. But like he's just, but he can talk. So he doesn't need a mouthpiece. He can talk. He just talks stupidly. Like he's got
Just maybe
charisma.
not
He's
find
just
maybe not the right words. They're not finding the right
that
words.
marble mouth. Blah, 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 my own brand of justice. Like, dude,
Yeah,
you're
it's that
You're
character.
fucking
That,
corny,
that
bro.
character seems like it wouldn't work as well in NXT. It might be a case with him too, where I think he might just need maybe a change of scenery might be good for him.
Like, that's what
I could see him doing really well, like if not in WWE. I like your tag team idea though. That's a good idea. But if not in WWE, I could see him doing really well in TNA. I feel like that'd be a good place for him. And honestly, even AEW, I think
ROH.
it would be not bad at
ROH.
all for him. And I don't necessarily think that would be a downgrade because I don't really see. I agree with you. Like other than a tag team, I don't really see much of a place for him on the main roster right now. I just don't.
It's peculiar because he really should be a bigger deal than he is, but he's just
I mean, I remember that match he had with Keith Lee like 5-6.
the whole Keith Lee trilogy was
That was amazing. That was like one of my favorite feuds in NXT of the time. Like you didn't see guys like that was what you didn't see big guys do shit like that, especially not in WWE. It was crazy.
And then they just sacrificed him to Cross when Cross was feuding with Keith Lee, and they had Cross just decimate him.
And now you can see what Cross is now, and that was obviously a mistake. That's a weird case. I don't
And
understand.
Retribution.
Yeah, Retribution was just dead.
Yeah, Cross is fucking peculiar. Like that's a whole nother story.
What is he doing now? Like we'll take a side step right now because Blaze watches more.
He's
SmackDown
been
than I
going
do.
for a bit. He just came back just to lose to Lashley on SmackDown.
Yeah, I figured he was gonna be the sacrificial lamb on that tournament.
Well, I mean, it's a tribute to the troops.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley in front of a bunch of people in the army.
True.
Right, on top of that too.
Yeah.
But like ever since he's got hired back, he hasn't really done much, right?
I think
No,
they
and it's
said
like-
what, since August he's been gone.
Oh, he hadn't been gone that long, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's got Scarlet. He's got the look. It's just, I don't know. He should probably go to greener pasture somewhere else too.
Sometimes
I don't
you know what they say, right? Like, and this happens with a lot of wrestlers of every company in the world. Sometimes you can be a big fish in a small pond, and that works. But not everybody that's a big fish in a small pond translates to being like a smaller medium fish in the big pond. It doesn't always work.
He can go back to TNA. TNA is on the up now.
I mean, he'd be really great there. He has a lot of matches there that I'd love to see. Like seriously,
TNA just got better because
Trent Seven, baby, that's an awesome signing. We'll talk more about that. I haven't watched it yet, but we'll talk about
either
that.
have I, but I know Trent Seven.
Yeah,
so
we'll talk about that next weekend, and because that was some cool stuff, some fun stuff happened there. So it looked like it was a good show. I just had too much wrestling to watch.
All right. Anyway, back to
yes.
the
The
men's
men.
chamber.
Yeah, man. First of all, I will also say that Trick Williams was the most over person on this PLA.
Oh yeah, it is absolutely insane how over Trick has gotten. Like it's
That chant, man. It's over.
it's the chant. It's his charisma. It's like
The big
I never
smile,
thought-
man.
I never thought he would. I never thought he'd be like anything other than bronze. Mello's muscle. You know, his heater.
Yeah,
He's it. I would be props on that one. I would be called it from day one that Trick was special.
he did. He's been a trick guy for a long time. I remember
Yeah.
that.
I might
Yeah,
not
but
know. It's
we'll-
fucking cold out here. Shit. Even with my hoodie on.
Go, you can go back. You can put yourself on. You can go back inside if you.
Yeah, I'm about to go back in real quick.
No worries. But yeah, like
I guess he wasn't blazing too much out there.
no blazing heat out there for sure. But yeah, Trick is awesome. Like I was pretty
Dude.
impressed with his performance. he's really good with the crowd. Really likable guy. So I think that
Yeah,
when Melo turns on him, it's gonna get some good heat. It's
for
gonna get some
sure.
good heat.
Yeah, I mean, he looked great in the match. Like we've talked about, everybody looked good. Tyler Bate had his good spots. The
The
going
Spinneroonie
round
was
and
great.
round. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, like he's good. He's definitely main roster bound from what I understand, so that's good. He's finally up there. He's been too good for NXT for like 5 years now. So
yeah.
like,
Sorry, airplane spin, not Spinneroonie. Spinneroonie
yeah,
is
yeah,
is, is
I
the
know,
is the Booker T thing.
I know what you meant. Um, and yeah, I mean, he should go up there. And I guess with Ridge leaving Pete Dunne, and
Right.
there
Yeah,
was a
he'd be
spot.
perfect. He's perfect for that.
And then I guess there was a spot during SmackDown with Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne was way in the background of Asuka and them, like on the phone. So
Okay.
maybe he's doing that. I don't know. We'll see. I could definitely see Butch and Tyler Bate versus Pretty Deadly. That would be a pretty good, fun little
That'd be
program.
yeah. I'd love Pretty Deadly against any sort of reunion of Mustache
British
Mountain
Strokes.
or British
Yeah,
Strong Style, I should say. It's not
yeah.
gonna be Mustache Mountain. Trent Seven is in TNA now, but I mean you watched NXT back then too, and I love those guys from even back then. I've always
Oh,
really liked both Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne is like been one of my favorite guys for a long time. Like I love those
oh, that
UK
is great.
guys.
I love Mustache Mountain. I have a Mustache Mountain t-shirt. I didn't wear it because it would be inversed. So
Yeah, man. But yeah, I really like that guy. I really like that he's getting some time. It's really interesting and refreshing to see the difference between Vince on the main roster and Triple H in NXT compared to Triple H in main roster and Shawn Michaels in NXT. It's a very
yeah,
different
because
dynamic.
little guys get to do shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Tyler Bate gets to hold his own in a match with fucking four guys that are twice his size.
Yeah, and it's not always gonna be, they're not always gonna hit home runs, but I appreciate that it's different. I appreciate it that it's more modern and a lot less of those old archaic ideas that like I personally don't vibe with. I don't care what size people are as long as they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
they can wrestle and they can entertain me, that's all I give a shit about. That's it.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like I don't care if you're 4'5" or 7 feet tall. You know what I mean? As long as you're good.
Yeah. Now, yeah. So that was a good match. Please
Yeah,
check it out. I liked it.
definitely very
Predictable
cool
winner,
match.
but it was a predictable winner. But how they got there was not predictable at all.
No,
So
and
I'm happy
predictable is
about it.
not bad. You know?
No, no, it's you knew like I wasn't expecting anything other than that, but I didn't. But once he was down a bunch of falls, like he
Yeah,
had nine, I was like, oh, maybe they're gonna go Braun, maybe they're gonna go Tyler Bate,
you
maybe
never
Josh
know.
Briggs gets a moment. But
I definitely if I was watching live without knowing the results, I definitely would have bought into Braun possibly winning again. Like he was booked pretty strong in this match, right?
he
So
did. Braun's an
um,
animal. Braun has nothing left to do in NXT.
he's so good, man. He's gonna be great on the main roster.
Yeah.
He's I think he's a guy who's gonna get like probably some good looks when I don't know what his contract looks like, but whenever he hits free agency, I think that's a
Well,
guy that AEW and TNA are gonna want to throw
I,
money
th- I,
at
th-
too.
I think they're gonna lock him up before that, though.
I
I
would
would
be, yeah,
imagine.
I would too. I
Probably.
would definitely try to, for sure,
Yeah,
because
they're gonna promise him that the Roman trajectory. I would imagine they're gonna put him on the same, maybe even a
slow.
faster track than Roman.
You never
Maybe,
know.
maybe because
Roman's not
Roman's
getting any
still
younger.
now, and he's certainly not wrestling very often. So
Yeah, I guess on the side, like I don't know what his health is like, but just judging by how much he's wrestling now, like I can see that whenever he loses the belt, like that's and like whenever this contract of Roman is done, this is probably going to be it. Other than like a very part-time contract, like
oh
more
yeah,
part-time than now. Because like, what else does he have to do, right? Like he's done everything,
nothing.
and
Yeah.
he's
He's
got his health. He's got his health. He's got a lot of kids to take care of. I'm sure he wants to
Yeah,
spend time with his family. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, like,
no,
what else has he got left to prove? Like, he might. That's even if he loses this year, he might not. Like,
yeah.
he might beat the Hogan record. You never know.
I fucking hope not.
Me neither, but it can happen.
I'm
It can happen.
so over it.
We won't spend too much time on Roman today, though.
Yeah, I will make a prediction this WrestleMania that Roman's not going to lose because I cursed that last time.
We'll see. We'll see what things are like in April. We'll see where we're standing.
It's going to be Cody versus Roman versus CM Punk in the main event of WrestleMania.
And then CM Punk wins.
I'll burn that.
I'm just gonna close my camera now if that happens.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna retire from wrestling watching. No. Oh, jeez, that's kinky.
Do you guys remember? Blaze maybe not, because it's this is like the Ate My Balls thing was like the first fucking viral thing, like in 1996.
I don't even
on the
remember
internet.
that. I don't think I remember the Ate My Balls thing.
It was Mr. T Ate My Balls was the first one, and it was like very crudely done in the crudest of fucking
like Flash video
graphics. Yeah, no, just the graphics, like the fucking crude ones.
Oh my god!
No, it's like 1996. I was in college, so
yeah, I was young as fuck.
Yeah, Ate My Balls was, and then they just do other people ate my balls, but that was a throwback to that. Anyway, that's your internet history lesson today, folks.
Excellent. We can move on to the next match, which was the steel cage match between
Keanu we don't have to talk about that very long either.
Yeah, and Roxanne. So I'm going to be honest. I was disappointed because I'm actually a fan of Roxanne, and I was expecting a decent enough cage match. This is kind of weak. I didn't we talked about this a little bit before the show, but I didn't think the match. I'm going to say I don't think the match was bad in the sense that it was botchy or crappy or anything like that.
Steel cage wasn't needed at all.
But the cage wasn't needed. It didn't feel like there was much hate. It didn't feel like there was much heat. There was no particularly brutal spot. I know WWE doesn't do blood, but they usually still do some violent. There was no weapons other than the chair at the end. As far as unless I missed one, I don't think there was.
No, there wasn't.
There was the spot like you talked about earlier, which was they climbed all the way to the top of the cage to tease a big move, and then the other
they climbed down.
Whatever her name was, climbed up and reached her, and then they just climbed back down and did a power bomb off the first rope.
Yeah, they didn't do anything. It was, I don't know. It was just a very blah match. It didn't feel like a blood feud. They built it up it was this. And Kiana James is okay. Roxy is good-ish. I don't know. She's a little milk toast baby face.
The character's not for me. I'm not buying this. I'm a badass now that I've had depression. This was such a it's a rare botch angle from NXT. I don't like any of the things they've done with her character at all. I thought it was a huge mistake to have her drop the belt like she did. It made her look like a fucking punk. It made her look stupid and weak. And it kind of made a joke about depression too, which I did not appreciate. And then she got over it by being more aggressive.
I'm a badass now.
Yeah,
I still talk like this though. Hey guys, I'm gonna kick your ass.
I'm sure they'll find something that works for her eventually. They're usually good at that. This ain't hitting for me. This match didn't hit for me. I don't know how the feud was before. I don't watch. Was the feud any good? Was it
No, it was just them getting in fights other places like that. They showed everything in the clips.
Didn't they already do that with Blair Davenport though? And so it's a rehash of that fight, kind of.
Blair Davenport did it to everybody though. That's what that was.
Right.
Blair
that was her angle.
Yeah.
But that was a similar angle she had with Roxy, right? She fought her in the mall or the grocery stores and shit.
It was probably in the summer when I couldn't watch much, so I don't.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, unfortunately, this match just didn't do a whole lot for me.
It wasn't anything.
Certainly, I would not have put that. I guess unless the idea was to put the crowd to sleep, I don't think this was a good idea to put this before the main event
because following the men's and then before the main event. No,
they should have flipped that around.
This should have been on the pre-show instead of Axiom Nathan Frazier, and it shouldn't have been Steel Cage. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you. It didn't work. And if I feel bad because I like Roxanne and the other competitor I don't know much about, but she seems like she's decent enough.
She's okay.
She's got a decent enough character, but it was just didn't do a whole lot. Jason says the same thing. It was very similar.
Yeah.
to the other feud.
Izzy Dane made her now she's made her what self known now, so maybe it's an introduction for her. I don't know anything about Izzy Dane except she's blonde, which is
I thought it was I thought it was Tiffany Stratton. That's how much I know the people there. And yeah, like
yeah.
the cage was man. And again, we talked about this before the show, but like I am not always a traditionalist, but I'm not a big fan of having a cage match end with an outside interference. It's
Yeah.
kind of it's a cop out. The whole point of a cage is so nobody else can get in, and it wasn't.
How often does that work though?
Yeah, it doesn't. I know, and this is not a WWE or NXT thing.
Yeah,
It,
it's
it
just a
annoys
wrestling thing.
it annoys me when any wrestling company does it, and in this case, I don't think it really got much heat or was very effective. So it was just kind of a flop. We'll
It
move
was.
on. We'll move on to the main
Yeah.
event, which I thought was quite good. Ilya Dragunov defended his title against Baron Corbin and
One of
won.
Corbin's best matches ever, probably, I would say.
Corbin was awesome in this match. It started off a bit slow, but I thought, like, I saw him do a brain buster. I was like, "What? This is
He
awesome!"
did some
Yeah.
shit. He did a submission move, like a fucking a dragon sleeper or some shit like that.
Yeah, it was a good match. Dragunov fucking rules. That's all I'm
Dude,
gonna say.
Dragunov,
Dragunov fucking rules.
I said it last night. Dragunov is one of the few wrestlers that has the ability to make it look like he's getting murdered every second of
Yeah,
every match. He literally feels like he looks like somebody is murdering him. And Chris said his rib selling was amazing last
it
night,
was.
which it was.
It was really
Like
good.
he really makes you feel like this dude is gonna die. Like he's in so much pain.
Yeah,
He's a
very few
bad
people can do
motherfucker,
that.
man.
He
He's a
reminds
bad,
me.
bad man.
Reminds like not character wise, but selling wise, reminds me a lot of Sami Zayn in that sense. Just like pure babyface selling, looks like he's dying, like gets everybody behind him through his selling of looking like he's getting absolutely murdered. Obviously, the character is different. He's more of a badass than
Oh,
Sami Zayn.
absolute badass. Yeah,
Because he's more of like a he's like a Russian dynamo. Like I
he's a
never,
fucking psychopath.
I'm
Man.
never gonna stop. Like he's the definition of you're gonna have to kill me to put me away.
Yeah,
Because
it was.
I'm never gonna tap, and I'm never gonna not kick out unless I'm dead.
Yeah, like it was a good match. Like he looked great. Corbin looked good. I do like the fact that they still protected the fucking end of days.
Yep, it was great.
Corbin didn't hit one end of days, which is good because
He
that's
didn't
probably one of the most protected finishers in the
in
entire.
WWE. Yeah,
Oh, for sure. Like
and
I think only one person's ever kicked out of it.
Yeah, let's say I think it's only what Drew at WrestleMania or whatever.
Drew. Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe you're right. Yeah, but
yeah,
like
and I mean he
what I
did
really
kick out of what was the other one? The Deep Six.
he did
He
the
did do
yeah,
that.
which is fine. That's
Deep
not
Six is a great move too.
It is. I really liked the rib selling on the power bomb spots too. He wasn't able to hit the power bomb until later on because his ribs hurt, and then he hit 3 power bombs in a row, and then the torpedo Moscow to put him away. So Corbin still looked really effing strong, looked really strong. But like he got it done. Great match, and then after the match, we got Trick William
Trick come
walking
out.
out. We got whoop that Trick chance, and then we got Mello walking out behind him.
Kind of
Most
creeping.
creeping, looking. Melo's really good at kind of like he's so good at being. You know what? He reminds me of Hangman Page in the insecure sense. They're both very insecure characters, and they're really good at showing that in their face, where they kind of look very unsure of themselves. But like, it's really good acting. I really like it. It's a good
I think
modern. It's a good modern babyface thing.
I think Mello has a bright future. Me and Chris talked about it once. He's a little worried about the size, but I think he still has. I mean, he may not have main roster world champion, but he could definitely be a U.S. champ.
I
Like
don't see why not. I can see him.
that.
I don't like the guy, but I can see him having an absolute fucking banger with Logan Paul.
Well, let's hopefully Logan Paul doesn't make it that long.
I know.
Yeah.
I guess you're with me that you're not a big fan, but
I don't. He's good. He's very good, but he's not going to be there forever. He's not going to be a talent. So like just Like, use him to get people over. That's what I say. Or like I said, put him with Theory and fucking Waller. Be the
Oh,
Yeah,
supreme
that'd be a hell
douchebag.
of a treat. That'd be a hell of an annoying trio.
God damn that the heat.
But you can always, if
You
you
can
want to make
all,
it, if you want to create a quartet, you can add Dom into there. Just have
Oh,
super heel
God
group of
damn,
complete douches.
bro.
um, did you see Blaze? Did you see the Theory doing Stone Cold?
Oh yeah.
That shit. Did you see that, Jeff?
No, I did not.
There's a backstage segment of fucking Theory doing Stone Cold, showing off the new Waller Grayson 316. I broke your hand. Fucking
Oh, right, they're
T-shirt,
doing that whole thing. Yeah,
like the Owen one.
Oh,
Yeah,
he killed it. I said,
yeah, he did. He
let him
did
do that
like
shit on TV.
I
Like,
know.
come on.
Show that charisma on TV, bro.
that's awesome. I always like
Yeah,
to see those kinds of things. That was the end of the pay per view, though.
that's it.
Did you have any more, like overall thoughts about the pay per view?
No, I thought it was great. It's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing where they progress with Mello, Trick, Dragonov. Uh, where they go with Dragonov after Trick, if he's on his way out soon or
Or
what.
even Dom, is that going to be like the last of his NXT
Yeah, I think that's
appearances?
the last of Dom. I would imagine so. Like,
Not a whole lot
I don't
left.
think they're running back. I don't think they're running back Dragon Lee and Dom again. And if they do, they can just do it on SmackDown. So they
That's
don't
kind
have
of
to
what I was
run
going to
back.
say. I think if they do, they are going to run it back on SmackDown.
And I just hope the North American title doesn't become a SmackDown title now. I hope it. I just want to see it come back.
I hope
But
so too.
yeah,
I'm sure it will. I can't see it sticking around for too long back there, which
yeah.
means
And like,
Dragon Lee probably was going to drop it fairly quickly. I would assume.
I'd like to see Tony D'Angelo get a run with it too. I don't know how much longer Tony D is going to be down. They he wasn't on the paper. They didn't have a tag title match on the pay per view for some reason. That definitely could have been in there instead of some of the other stuff. But
Even Axiom, you could see getting a short run too, maybe.
yeah, I actually could too. I'd like to see more with Tony D and Stacks, more tag team stuff on because they seem to be just running around with the same few tag teams. So
So that, that's
hopefully we,
that's maybe one thing that was missing from this pay per view. Actually, is there was no tag team match. That was kind of a shame.
yeah. Now they're doing an angle with Gallus and Hank and Tank on the next
Okay,
NXT. So I don't know. Gallus, another guys that have just done everything in NXT too. So I hopefully they do come up with if Drew ends up going full heel and has a heel faction, Gallus would be good for that.
that would be cool.
So
Yeah, assuming Drew sticks
Drew
around.
sticks around, yeah.
That
That's also a thing.
you never know, right? But that would be a really good thing they could do if they wanted to. And we do know that Triple H has a bigger penchant for not feuds, but for bigger groups,
Factions.
right? Factions. Thank
Yeah.
you. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word. But yeah, he's definitely more open to that than Vince was, so I could definitely see it happening. It would be nice if you got a bit more faction warfare on the main roster, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that's maybe the one thing that's missing, I'd say.
Well, I mean, you got this animosity between Drew and Judgment Day now, especially with Priest. So maybe if they do, you have Judgment Day versus Drew and Gallus. I don't know.
This is big news, actually. I'm not sure how. I have to look into it, but
Oh,
Oh,
that's
there you
pretty.
go.
So that if that's the case, that's fucking awesome.
that is
Who's
pretty
now?
cool.
And they're facing Austin Theory. So
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Ooh.
Wait,
Ooh.
I thought there was Waller they're facing. Ain't it? Is it great? Theory's facing Owens.
then yeah,
Yeah.
one of them. And if it's Wall or Mello, then they've done it before a few
So
times.
what?
So
That's pretty intriguing of a matchup because I actually don't know. I would assume Waller would win that, right?
you would assume so, but
Yeah,
you never know.
but Melo's booked well. That'll be we can talk about that next week when we see the result.
Thank you, Jimmy King, with breaking news.
Yeah,
there
man,
it is.
that's awesome.
Yep, I wouldn't.
We'll move on to the old AEW. I'm gonna pull up the Continental Classic standings now. We'll start with the standings.
Yeah, the
and
Blue League, I think, was a 3-way tie.
we do have a three-way tie in the Blue League. So we've got Brody King, who's only wrestled 2 matches, so he is in first place in the driver's seat. Actually, technically, Andrade is technically in the driver's seat as well. So Brody King and Andrade are both in first place with 6 points, having wrestled only 2 matches. Then you've got Brian Danielson, also at 6 points, but he's wrestled 3 matches and he just lost to Andrade. So not only has he wrestled more matches, but Andrade does hold the tiebreaker on him should they have a tie at the end. Then go ahead.
I mean, if you want to talk about some of the matches as we go through the standings, or do you want to just hit them all?
I'm gonna go through the standings, and then we'll go match by match because there's so much to go through.
All right, I'll be right back.
Then we've got Claudio in fourth. He's only won 1 match and lost 2, and so he's sitting at 3 points.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston finally got his first victory, also at 3 points. And Daniel Garcia, I'm not sure if he's completely eliminated. I would assume that he either is or is going to be if he would be lost. But he has 0 points, lost again. In the Gold League, we've got a 2-way tie at the top, and that will change on Wednesday when they face each other. John Moxley and Swerve Strickland both standing at a perfect 9 points. They will be facing against each other. They have a hot-ass promo. Woo.
Then again, that could be the one they go for a draw on, and they would.
I could see them doing a draw, so they just keep it at 10 points there. And then you could also have, with that, if that happens, you could have Jay White maybe sneak in as well. Speaking of Jay White, he's 6th alone in 3rd place. 6 points, 2 wins, 1 loss.
Hello.
We've got Roosh. Hey man, we've got Roosh in 4th, 3 points at 1, 2, and 0. And then we've got Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe both mathematically eliminated from the tournament, both unfortunately at 0 points. So that's some pretty interesting standings, first of all. In fact, I think that, let me just go look at those rankings one more time. So there's only two people that only had 2 matches. And that is Andrade and Brody King, which are both at 6 points, but they both have a match in hand compared to everybody else in the Blue League. So it's basically right now their tournament to lose on the Blue League.
Yeah,
pretty interesting. I didn't actually see that coming. I think both. I did not expect Brody to start off that strongly. I did not expect Andrade to beat Danielson and be undefeated.
Yeah, that was a shocker to me. I was like, wow. Huge win for him.
That was probably his best match I've seen in a long time. Like
since the Cody match.
He looked good. Yeah, I mean that could. Oh, you mean the one where the fire table match?
Yeah, the flaming table match. Yeah, it was a crazy ass match.
It was, but he finally did something. He was the one to finally go after the eye. Like people hadn't been exploiting it, and Andrade did. Like it's just. I mean, I've been shitting on him for a while, but he looked good that match. It was a great match.
I really, really enjoyed it. We can definitely start there. It makes the most sense from last night. It was the main event for last night's Collision.
Yeah.
So I found a lot about this interesting in the sense that, like, Andrade has been presented as a face up until now. However, none of what he did in this match was face. Like, he was a complete bastard in this match. And I loved it.
Because he's not a face.
No,
There's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do to be a face. He's arrogant. His punchable face. He's got the fucking blonde manager. Like what? There's nothing face about Andrade.
The only face thing about him is his in-ring style when he's wrestling as a face. And even then, I still feel like a lot of his moves, like I find the spinning elbow thing very heelish. I don't know why. I find it heelish because it's kind of a trickster move. And he's a big guy, and I think he's just better at beating people up. And I agree with you. He's got an arrogant, kind of like almost aristocrat kind of like demeanor, right? Like he's like almost royal. Like he's very handsome, so he could be a face in that sense. But other than that, like I do think he has more. I agree with you that he has more heelish qualities. I think he's a better heel than he is a face.
Did they try him as a face in WWE at one point? I want to say they tried.
They tried a few times, but I don't think he was like anything.
It's super failed though. I'm pretty sure. He's
He was
just not.
he was a heel against Angel. Wait, was he in a feud against Angel Garza at one point?
Uh,
I want to
I don't
say
remember.
this was a while ago, man. Pandemic wrestling was like
Yeah,
kind of a shit show.
There was
I know.
no, yeah, there was no heels or faces during the pandemic.
It was
Chris
really
has
weird.
said that 1,000 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no crowd to pander to, right?
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, this match was awesome. Like I really liked how much he went for the eye. Danielson obviously bladed. For those who don't know, he's fine. He's not actually
No,
hurt.
man, he's gonna
He's not.
die.
He's not actually hurt because this is a weird thing because this match was taped on Tuesday and the news that he was bleeding and potentially hurt came out online. But then he wrestled live the next day on Wednesday for the taping of Rampage, which aired on Friday, and then the Tuesday show aired on Saturday. So there's a little bit of weirdness. But like in kayfabe, he wrestled both in kayfabe and in real life. He wrestled 2 days in a row, just Tuesday and Wednesday.
It was
Just
split.
just Tuesday, Wednesday, not Friday, Saturday. Anyways, he's fine. He's a god tier seller and a terrible human for making everybody worry about him. I hate him so much.
I don't know, man. Claudio looked really upset.
He looked
Claudio was
very
really upset, man.
Yeah, I mean, Claudio was very upset. And then, wouldn't you know it, Claudio against Andrade is the next match next week. Wouldn't you look at that? Shocking. Great setup for that angle, though. Like,
Claudio gets the W. I don't think
Probably.
Andrade goes on.
I can see that because Claudio is just taking 2 L's and he needs a W.
He needs a W. Andrade isn't gonna go run the fucking board. So
I could see this might be when like maybe Miro like distracts him from like maybe before the match kind of thing. Gets in his head maybe. Something happens to fuck him over. Very good match. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is a good like lead off into a conversation about how they've booked this tournament, but I really like how they've built a lot of stories in this tournament. I know some people have the complaint that they're just matches and the tournament is boring. I think those people are not paying enough attention to the stuff that's going on in between the matches. I think people are not paying attention to the stuff that's actually happening in the matches. There's a lot of storytelling in both the matches before and after the matches too. There's stories being woven into a lot of things. Perfect example, this Moxley and Swerve promo on Dynamite, man. Like, holy crap, man.
Very good.
Is the tension, and I like how like they did this a few times on Dynamite because they did it with MJF and Hangman as well, where like one person starts talking, being interviewed, and then the other person walks into the shot. I'm like, "Oh, you talking shit?" and then they start, and it created 2 really really good moments on Dynamite that were, I find that for me, a lot of the storytelling works better in AEW this way. It's how they've done it since the beginning. They're not big on doing the like, open the show, walk to the ring, cut the promo. Story for the show is based on that promo that was cut at the beginning of the show, and the whole show is based around that. And there's nothing wrong with building a show like this, by the way. It's fine, and it's how WWE has always done it, but it's not really how AEW has ever done it. They thrive in those backstage promos, and I think it works better for the talent that they have.
that Swerve promo on Collision too. I don't know if I think they showed it on Collision.
Yeah.
The vignette
It was so
amazing.
good, man. Oh, he's so good
good.
right now.
He needs to beat Moxley. Like
I think so too.
they need to like give him that. Like they already had him beat Hangman. They need to give him this. Like
I agree.
He's ready for it.
He either has to beat Mox or he has to, at the very least, he has to tie Mox.
He can't lose.
Maybe it's how it goes, and maybe this goes into a program after.
Could be.
Where Mox and Swerve, like that could be Swerve's next. But Hangman doesn't seem done with him either, though. So
Hangman, I think, might not be done with him, but I think what he set up, and we can get into it. What he set up against Swerve, I think, is going to pay off like next year. I don't think it's going to play off yet because what Hangman specifically said was like, I know what you want the most, and I'm not going to let it happen, which means I'm going to fuck you out of the title. It's exactly what that means.
Or take the title from you.
Or take the title from him. Either way, I'm here for it. I love this Hangman and Swerve feud that they've set up. I love that it's basically now like it's their like that feud is going to be like happening on and off for the next 2-3 years. And AEW needs stuff like this. That's what made Kenny and Hangman great. Is like they had this long ass arc where they teamed together and then they hated each other, but like it was never over until Hangman won. So like, and they can, even though Hangman wasn't winning the title right away, it was always in the back of everybody's head, right? Like, oh, but one day though, Hangman's gonna go after Kenny, and now you know, like one day Hangman's gonna come for his revenge against Swerve, which means like it just makes Swerve's path to the title more interesting. And then once he does get the title, which I think, quite frankly, is inevitable, he's going to win the title in 2024. If he doesn't, it's promotional malpractice. Honestly,
it's a massive injustice.
It'll be a massive fumble if they don't do it. But
another good example for the storytelling stuff, like the Danielson Garcia stuff.
That's a great example, Blaze.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like that promo he cut afterwards about why he spit on him and everything.
Man, that promo by Danielson about the spitting and how he turned it. Like, for those who haven't seen it, go watch the promo that Danielson put on Twitter after his victory over Garcia. Incredible stuff, man. Like, he starts off by talking about why he spit on him, and then he like uses that motivation to talk about his retirement and how like he's afraid to retire because his kids like at one point is not going to care about him, and he's afraid like, am I going to quit the thing I love the most in the world for someone who might not even care that I'm quitting for them? And like he like what, like he made, in 2 minutes he made like this spinning angle the deepest shit. It's crazy, man. Danielson is just like on a whole other level of the way he thinks about wrestling.
Even if he is a fucking hall monitor now.
Yeah. Clam digger bastard. Did you hear the line about Nigel at one point where he said that Danielson is his second favorite wrestler? And he's like, who's your first? Everybody else.
Everybody else is tied.
Oh my god. He's so good, man.
Shivani's like, I knew that one was coming.
Yeah, Shivani is just like always so sick of Nigel's shit. It's great. But yeah, like I'm just enjoying so many of these small little stories they're interweaving with each other in this tournament. The Kingston story, finally getting his first victory, was really good too.
Over Claudio.
So now he's won 2 matches in a row against Claudio, which is huge for him. And what we were talking about earlier about Swerve going over Mox. If Swerve goes over Mox, now that like I think that would be very efficient building blocks for him, right? Because let's say they don't plan on Swerve winning this specific tournament, which is very possible. He might not win the whole thing, but if he doesn't win this whole thing, but has victories over Mox and over Hangman, that still tells me that he's a valid title contender. He's beating top guys, right?
Yeah, and Switchblade too.
And Switchblade.
Yeah.
I mean, what more can you ask for?
That was when I definitely thought it was going to be a draw. So I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Because I can see a lot of logic behind Swerve not winning this one if they want to, especially if they want him to win the world title like soon. If they don't want him to win the title soon, then it's something for him to do in the meantime. And I can see him being very popular in Japan as well, and those strong shows. So we'll see what happens. But really, really good stuff. I've got the rundowns for each show.
I think go ahead. I might be on the side of Eddie might retain. Eddie might win this whole fucking thing. Like, they had him down so far, and now they're like, he's building it back up. It's shit he's worked for his entire fucking career, and he voluntarily puts it all on the line, and then it's almost taken away from him, and it's too much.
But he just gets it at the last moment.
That would be good storytelling there.
Yeah. I think, like, if he comes out of the, like, I don't think Danielson's coming out of his bracket. I think
it's possible he doesn't.
I think the injury angle is going to play a part in that, and I think they might take him out of it with the injury angle, Because let's be honest, it seems like he's almost dying every match because it's his orbital is fucking
It's definitely a
wonky.
story they're telling. And I think that is kind of like another great thing about this tournament right now is that I don't think right now anybody is the like 100% put all your money on it absolute favorite. There's arguments to be made for a lot of people to win this still.
From a kayfabe stance, Moxley seems like the shoe-in because he's done it all already, and
That's true. I would agree with that.
And he's like the ace of the company. But
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know.
He is. You're 100% right. Like from a kayfabe perspective, if I was a casual, Moxley would 100% be the favorite. And he's 9-0, and I shouldn't say 9-0. He's 3-0, has 9 points. Commentary made the same mistake on Wednesday.
So did Swerve.
So did Swerve. That's right. That's right. But yeah, I would agree with you that Mox, if anybody was going to be the favorite, it would be Mox. I think that's too easy. I don't think that's what they're going to.
Not going to do it at all.
That being said, if you're not going to put Swerve in the finals, Mox against Kingston would be a fucking hell of a final.
That would be the way to go. Because if Kingston can beat Mox,
dude,
that's his arc is fucking.
And let's not forget where it is. World's ends in New York. I know it's Long Island, so it's not like it's not gonna kick. Eddie's still gonna be massively over, even if it's not the Bronx. It doesn't matter, or not the Bronx.
Eddie's over in fucking Hoshwog, fucking Mississippi, dude. That guy's over everywhere he goes.
True.
He was more over than Danielson when they wrestled. It's crazy.
It's because he's just believable. He's just real. He's just a dude. He's a bum.
Yeah. He reminds me of like, I know it's not like the same kind of character, but like in the same sense that he's like an everyday man. He's very similar to like Mick Foley and Stone Cold in the sense of that kind of like relatability, right? Like he's just a guy. He's just a guy. And like with Stone Cold, the whole thing was like, everybody can relate to like hating the fucking
boss. A friend of mine who lives in New York doesn't watch wrestling anymore, but I showed him a picture of Eddie Kingston. And he goes, "That dude looks like every dude from Yonkers I've ever met in my life."
that's what he is. That's exactly what
he is. I was like, yeah, kind of got it.
Yonkers. He's so great. But yeah, I'm with you though. I could totally see Eddie running the table and getting in the
I think it's the right move.
I think he has to be in the finals.
As much as it would be good for Switch, as much as it would be good for Swerve, Brody would be great, but I don't think it just doesn't seem feasible in the cards, like the way everything's structured, the way the House of Black is. It just doesn't seem.
And not the way he's been built up to now. I think it's too early for him to just. It would feel, as much as I would personally love it, because I think he's a great talent. I love Brody.
He is.
But it would feel like it's very out of nowhere and maybe lacking a little bit of build-up, right? This is his build-up. Him doing well in this tournament is the build-up, in my opinion.
Andrade, too, has zero build-up to this. All Andrade is build-up is Miro, and that's probably ultimately what the end is going to be. Is that Miro's going to do something, and then he's going to try to fucking make his wife a slave.
I kind of want Andrade to win that feud now. Like, I don't feel like Miro should win this.
No, because
I don't like this angle.
He's like coming off like Ike fucking Turner. Like he's like,
yeah, I don't know,
gutting the deers that I hunt.
Yeah, like this is 2023, bro. Like I know this is getting some heat, but like I was watching this with my partner, and she's like, I don't fucking like this, and like, no shit. I had to, as soon as I heard it coming out of their mouth, I'm like, oh, women are not gonna like this angle.
Well, that's what Cake said the same thing. Cake's like, this angle fucking sucks. Like she's been way into AEW now, but she's not into that at all.
Who said? Oh, Cake said this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, see, I hadn't seen her commentary yet, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't think that I said it in the chat. I think that this kind of angle, if done properly with the right talent, can create the right kind of heat. I don't think this is the talent to do it with. Especially on top of that, especially not with the fact that like Miro has already done this cucking stuff in the past. So it feels just like a reach thread of that, but now just kind of like really
Also
angry.
also too because he's a intimidating, angry man from a foreign, like a third world, not third worldish, but like a country that isn't known for treating their women particularly
That's
well.
the thing, right? I had the same kind of like it feels too like
On the nose.
yeah, it feels
Like
like
it's
you're like,
like
oh, I'm a stereotypical Eastern European misogynist. Like that kind of that
Yeah.
kind of sucks. Like I
it's like if they made Dragunov a fucking commie. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, well yeah, nobody would like that, right? Like
no.
I don't like it. I don't know, man. Like I can appreciate they're trying to do more in-depth character work, but like I also don't understand what this has to do with his
It's
God
not that in depth.
character.
It's
No,
not in depth at all.
it started to make me think that this whole character, this whole God character thing, like it was really over because of how he was like presenting it and his delivery, but the content itself never really had an end game. It kind of just shallow.
At some point after all the gimmicks and all the character changes fail, it's on the talent. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
like this goes, and this isn't even an AEW thing. Like Rusev Day was over because of fucking Aiden English.
and Lana, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
I had a
Rusev,
Rusev Day calendar.
like he was. I mean, and he's a talent that can get over because of his physicality, but his characters are never great. Like he's not like this big in depth. Like every AEW one has been like the Redeemer was good for a while, but then he wanted to fucking beat up God and he had no neck or.
Yeah, well, first of all, the neck thing I thought was like it was a good story, but I also thought like, why are you giving yourself such an obvious weakness so early? That's kind of weird, but whatever.
And blaming God.
I'm not really sure. Like, I don't think Sammy Guevara going over him was good. Not because I don't think Sammy Guevara is a good talent. I just think it was too early for Miro to lose, and then it kind of let all the air out of the balloon. And then it was just like, now what?
Well, that also didn't work because that was trying to make Sammy the plucky underdog babyface, and Sammy's also not a babyface.
Yeah, no, I'm not. They tried. I think he's a great heel, though. Sammy's a great heel.
Fantastic heel, but he's too arrogant.
It's the punchable face.
And
I said that as a fan. I said that as a fan of the game.
I know you love him, and he has it, but like when your first year and a half in AEW on major TV, you're just doing this.
Yeah, the tongue thing. Yeah, the problem. See, here's the thing with me with Sammy, and this is the only negative I'm going to say about him because I actually like a lot of his work. I think he's done a lot of improvement in the ring. He's done a lot of improvement on selling too, and he works fucking hard. He really does. Like I've seen all the stuff he does behind the scenes. He works really hard. However, I do not find him relatable at all. Therefore, he's a bad babyface. Because if a babyface is not relatable, it's like Wardlow. There's nothing relatable about Wardlow. He's a big, handsome dude who doesn't say a whole lot and kicks butt, which is great. But as a babyface, what does that in a wrestling like? What does that bring as a wrestler? Nothing. Not as a babyface.
It only brings anything in the build up. The MJF build up to the babyface turn
was great.
Was gold. And that made him a relatable babyface until it was time for him to stand on his legs as a babyface without MJF. And it was like, well, yep.
Much like this Miro stuff, lacked depth.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I beat the odds and I beat MJF and yay.
No,
and they gave up on him too soon. Like that's another thing too. They booked him. His booking is fucking atrocious.
It's hard.
I don't know why.
It's hard to book a babyface big guy though. It honestly is. It really is.
Unless you're lovable, and those guys aren't lovable. Like
he's not. That's the thing with Wardlow. Like he's not funny.
No.
He's not like cheeky. He's not clever. And I don't mean that, and I don't mean to say he's dumb. I just mean like he doesn't have the gift of gab in the sense that he's clever, right?
He's not Joe.
No,
Joe is
nobody is.
nobody's Joe, but Joe is a monster who can be the most over baby face in the world just because he's a badass monster with a fucking
Joe's got the aura.
Yeah, Joe's awesome.
The thing is, Joe, man, I can go on and on and on about how Joe is just like. I really wish I would have watched more of. I watched wrestling when he was at his peak because like he would have been my favorite wrestler hands down.
I will say this about Joe is that his NXT, WWE, like his last NXT run, his first NXT run, and his AEW stuff, it's probably better than a lot of his TNA stuff because his character work grew so much exponentially. Like,
yeah,
he wasn't in as great physical shape anymore, so he had to rely more on just being a fucking bad motherfucker. And
yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah, I don't know. He should be a person, and I know WWE probably wanted this at one point, but like once he can't wrestle anymore, I would pay that guy so much money to be not just a trainer, but just like a talent, like manage talent, not in the sense of going to the ring with them, but just like behind the scene, helping them with like promos, helping them with presentation, helping them even just like how to get along with people backstage. Because the guy is just other than this stuff with Kevin Nash, have you ever heard of any issues he's had with anybody backstage?
No, and I think the only reason there was an issue with Kevin Nash is because of the issue with Scott Hall. Because
of course
Scott
it was.
Yeah,
he was,
and that's as Scott Hall's biggest fan, it's understandable. Like
it's one of those weird situations where like I actually understand both Nash and Joe's reactions.
Yeah, it's his best friend.
Like
and Joe's like, fuck this guy.
I mean, they were both right in the sense, right? I don't blame either of them for Joe was right to be pissed off. And Nash I completely understand Nash being upset and sticking up for his boy.
Absolutely.
It's all good.
Joe also needs to be like a commentator when he's done too. Like,
he's so good at everything. Like he's got the voice. I think one thing with Joe too, like I mean, it shows it because he's been sought after on television. But like, might have my favorite voice in wrestling of all time.
Yeah, the fucked up thing about that is that he has the perfect voice for fucking Sweet Tooth on Twisted Metal, and they still dubbed it over with Will Arnett's voice.
I know, it's so weird.
I get it. Will Arnett's famous, and Will Arnett's voice is iconic, but Joe could have easily just been the voice, and they could have saved.
Yeah.
That they could have saved a couple $100,000 on Will Arnett's salary.
It's a shame, but yeah, Joe's man, like he's the best.
I also wonder what, like, if he would have, if Trips was booking 10 years earlier, I don't think Joe ever leaves. I think Joe stays.
Probably not.
I think Joe beats Brock. He was right for it. Like, it was so perfect. It was hot. Like
that was, man. We take a detour to this for 5 minutes because this is actually one of the periods of WWE that like was the beginning of the end of me watching because it would frustrate me so much. How they booked Brock, they had literally two, and I know like they're not like one of them is nowhere near as hot as he was back then. That year they had two white hot baby faces, and I mean white fucking hot. Braun Strowman was so popular for a bit around that time, and then Joe was too. They had two opportunities to make two guys by putting them over Brock. And from what I've heard, Brock was also willing to put over Joe because he liked working with Joe. And they fucking just didn't fucking do it, man.
Nah, pal.
I owe you one, pal.
Not pal. Brock, you're the man. We gotta have you win all the time, bro.
And then and all of that just to do Roman Brock like a million more times after. It was so frustrating, man.
And not only that,
so frustrating.
And also Brock was the wasted Undertaker WrestleMania win for Brock was Brock didn't need it.
Yeah.
We're going real back now.
Brock didn't need that. He was already a fucking made man.
No, he didn't need it was a good moment. It was a good shock moment, but at the end of the day, it didn't really do much for Brock.
No, and it would have been better to have because Bray beat him too, and then no, Bray didn't beat him. Sorry, Roman did.
Bray didn't beat shit, man.
Bray
I
never
love
beat anybody.
that's a whole other can of worms we could open another time. Bray's, oh man, it was being a fan of Bray Wyatt during those days was rough.
Yeah,
It
was
was
my
rough.
favorite. It was Roman. So Roman and Brock both beat fucking Taker, and neither one of them were already made at the time. So
Oh man, that Roman Taker disaster match and the following
bad.
meltdown on Raw where the crowd was just having absolutely none of it.
It's my yard now.
They booed him out of the fucking building. It was great heat, and it would have been great if Roman was a heel then, but unfortunately he was a babyface.
Yeah.
So it was pretty fucking weird. That was like, oh man, that was such a weird year. I think that was the same year that we had the beach ball thing where Claudio went to the crowd and ripped the beach ball and popped it. It was a weird fucking year in WWE, man. Some weird shit happened that year.
Yeah, we can fucking do a whole new other podcast on old shit. So
absolutely,
we can get this one moving.
Yo, that's one of my ideas I have. I want to do my classic shit at some point.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about. There's a lot. We kind of went around the tournament results. We can go match by match afterwards, but before we do run out of time, we should really cover the main event of Dynamite, which was Christian Cage against Adam Copeland, which I actually thought was a really, really good match. Clearly not. It's not the end of the matches. They clearly held some stuff back, in my opinion. This felt like more like the first match and the last match.
Yeah,
it's
they're definitely doing it again.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it was fine. They've had better matches, but it was like, but they're also both fucking 50. So
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, I get it. It was. I mean, it's Edge's Adam Copeland's descent into insanity is gonna be pretty fun. I think
it is.
I think his blindly trying to murder Nick Wayne, which caused
him to lose a match.
Shayna to lose the match. He's gonna blindly do something again, and who knows? It's hard to say where it's gonna go because I know they trademarked rated FTR. So I don't know, like, whenever that's going to play it, if they're going to do something with that or if they're going to do the Christian thing. Like, it seems they have a lot of plans for Adam Copeland, but it's hard to say when they're going to end up doing what. Unless FTR goes heel, which is always a possibility too.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do rated FTR this year because the year's almost done, and we didn't really talk about ROH, but FTR is wrestling already on ROH, tagging with Mark Briscoe against Danielson, Mox, and Claudio.
That's gonna be a match.
I mean, if that doesn't make you want to watch that pay-per-view, I don't know what.
Like I said, that's what sold me on watching. Like I was like, I might check it out. You know,
it's only like $10 too.
It'll be good. It'll be a good match
for sure. But I think what they'll do is I think the logical thing would be to run it back at World's End in a cage. I feel like that's an easy one. I mean, I feel like they have to add a gimmick either way. They got to add a gimmick to the second match. A cage match to keep all of Christian's patriarchy out would make sense. Where it goes from there, I don't know. Because I mean, I think we're all in agreement that eventually this is all just going to lead to Copeland turning heel and joining Christian, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I want.
It should. I mean, it's just hard to say where it goes right now because Christian is so. I mean, but where's the patriarchy go from here? I mean, how long is Killswitch going to be in? Nick Wayne?
Killswitch going to be the first one to go, obviously. That would be logical.
True.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with him, though. Like, I don't know if he's going to be able to stand on his own. I doubt it. Like, I just don't know. I don't know if he has the talent to be a solo with nobody else around him.
Killswitch, you mean?
Yeah.
No, I think the play is to just put him back with Jungle Boy, honestly.
Oh, I don't think they're doing that.
I mean, I don't mean anytime soon, but I think like long term, I don't.
I mean, he's the devil. How they gonna make Luchador?
Maybe
Luchasaurus-
we'll see about that. I don't know about. I guess we could talk about. Yeah, we'll backtrack back to that afterwards. But this match, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting. I think at the very least they're gonna have another match at World's End.
Oh yeah, I mean
unless-
they'll have another match or two. It'll be interesting to see where it goes from here as far as the this Wednesday, like addressing the Shayna Wayne thing.
the crowd was fucking incredible for this match too.
Yeah, I mean it's Christian at his peak, which he has been for a while, and and Adam is extremely over always. So it's definitely good shit. We'll see where everybody else falls into.
I like the pace of the match too. It got good time. They did some really like cool transition stuff, like the spear counter thing was really good at one point, like into the not unpretty kill switch.
Kill switch.
I think my only like real, and this I wouldn't even say major complaint. I thought the Shayna angle was good. Like I expected that angle. It's the angle I wanted. She didn't do the best job selling it.
Yeah, it was.
It
was too obvious once you.
Yeah, and she looked really like nonchalant about it. I did like that they didn't start the match with her out there, so like you were just expecting her to come out. I would have her come out. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
In her defense, she's not a worker. Like, she's never been a worker.
No, but and I didn't even think it was like I didn't think it was horrible or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just it could have been done with a little more drama.
Yeah. That
would be my only complaint. I still think it was great.
Nick could have came out in like a fucking cat. Well, I couldn't do Roddy's gimmick, I guess. I was gonna say you could have him come out in a wheelchair, but
he's selling the injury. Yeah, he could have came out. Maybe like kill switch coming out, but I don't know. I get it. They want to like really. They're doing that weird wrestling thing, right? They always do this. It's like when the heel has no more people that can help them. Obviously means he's gonna have somebody help him every time.
Yeah,
it's what happens, right? Like it's
like in the match like where a group is banned from ringside. Sometimes someone else joins the group, so they technically wasn't in the group. When they held.
And I do prefer that a lot more than when and AEW has done this a few times and it's pissed me off. We're like, so and so got kicked out or banned from ringside, and then they still come back and influence the match. Like, no, that's lazy as shit.
Yeah, that's
don't do that.
At least with the damage control thing, they sent like Bailey wasn't out there when they all got sent to the back, and then she came out. So
sure,
yeah,
you just got to give me the tiniest little bit of explanation. I don't need much. Just don't be lazy.
I can't watch the Bailey stuff anymore because
it's painful to see her lose over and over again.
No, it's just I know what's gonna come, and she's just trying so hard. It's just like, oh no, it's gonna get.
She helped this last Friday. That's all I'm saying. She didn't cost.
I know she did, but like you know, they're just gonna fucking kill her. And I just hope she gets a nice baby face run after this, and she wins matches again because Bailey's talented and she's put in her dues.
I think
let her keep like the same type of attitude, but towards the heel. Don't go back to the hugger shit.
No, she's not. She's never gonna be hugger again. The inflatable tube guys are gone. That's it. But
hot take though, like that faction should have turned face like 6 months ago. They would be a way better faction as faces. I don't understand why they're heels. There's nothing heelish about them other than the fact they cheat once in a while. But like Io is not a fucking heel. Like, I'm sorry, she's a lovable babyface. At least in her current iteration. Like, I've seen her be a heel before, and like,
but never worked.
She's not a heel.
She always ends up being a face.
She was only a good heel in Stardom.
Kairi Sane is the least heel-like person in the fucking entire world.
She's Sami Zayn, like, except even more babyface-ish.
An Asuka could be an effective heel if she wasn't such a badass. She's a female Samoa Joe. Like it's
actually, just that's not a bad comparison.
Yeah.
Like
nobody wants to boo any of these people. So why the hell are they? I don't get this. I don't know. I could go on and on.
Anyway, we'll go back to EW.
Yeah. So like that match was I really enjoyed that match. Really good main event. The crowd in Montreal was a lot of fun.
They usually are.
2.0, bro. Holy shit, that pop.
They got that pop, baby. They should have got the win. They should have gave him the W.
They
Fuck
should have.
Commander
They
and
should.
fuck
They
that.
sh- They should have gone a W, just not against those two, because those two are
Yeah,
getting
fuck those
pushed.
two.
They're getting pushed though right now. They're getting pushed against somebody, some other people. So I would have just maybe put them against somebody different and have them go over those people.
Butcher
But
the
whatever.
Blade.
Sure, why not? But
Fucking-
anyways, whatever. It didn't. Honestly, 2.0 can lose like every single match. It doesn't fucking matter. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
They're gonna cheer them no matter what. They had Papa Magie chance, which is Daddy Magic in French. I fucking love that shit. It's amazing.
Oh, nice.
It was amazing. A lot. I don't know. There's a lot of fun stuff this week. A lot of fun women's stuff too. The Sky Blue Tony Storm match was actually really.
Oh,
good.
yeah.
That's probably Sky
A lot of
Blue's
cake.
best match. A lot of cake for sure.
A lot of cake.
But I don't know. Like I enjoyed the vast majority of AEW TV this week. Honestly, I don't really have any. I can't other than the Miro stuff. Like the Miro like short, and I was like, I mean, that's like a 30-second promo, so like whatever. But I think that's like the only real thing I didn't love.
Well, then we'll transition into, if you don't mind, like talking about AEW. We got to talk about one guy. So we'll get the playing.
MJF baby.
The whole setup of the beer bottle thing is fucking so stupid.
I love it. I love it. The fact that they added Hangman to this angle is great.
Like, it's just like, and Hangman hasn't been a drunk or been drinking on AEW TV for like 2 years. Like,
It's been a while. It's been a while since.
and they're not even playing the part of it. He's a dad now. That's his angle. He's a family man who's gonna kill you if you fuck with his family. He's not even drunk anymore. And they're like, oh, we gotta implicate Hangman. Let's use this beer bottle, unless it's James Storm.
That would be hilariously weird. I would love
Right.
it. TNA fans would pop like crazy.
Yeah, nobody else would. No, but they don't know James.
Sadly.
But sadly, but yeah, no, I mean the Devil's Adam Cole. Like,
I think so too. But I really like that.
Adam
Like,
Cole.
we can talk about this angle because it's definitely something I want to get into with you guys. Like, even before the angle, the Hangman and MJF face-off promo back.
It was great.
It might actually be my favorite promo of the week. I love everything they did. Everything. I loved, first of all, like we talked about earlier, we had the whole like person A is talking, then the other person walks through the show. I was like, oh, I heard you talking shit. What's
Yeah.
up? What's up, bro? You know, like, and then they got into each other's faces, and then they just kept one-upping each other. Like, oh well, our last match I threw you over the top rope, and it's like, oh well, you know, like who's the last person who beat you for this ring? Like, oh well, I was so upset about it, I went and win the world title. Yeah, but you didn't hold it for a year though. So you know, like that was some good shit. That's the kind of stuff that I love that AEW used to do in the past too, which is that backstage tension angle building for a later time. And then it wasn't even go ahead, please.
I know he's too old to be considered it, but fucking Hangman really is one of the pillars of that fucking
Of course he is. In my opinion, he is like when I think of like Mr. AEW, like as far as like which guy represents like what AEW is all about the most, like for me, I think of Hangman. Or maybe like I think of Hangman and Orange Cassidy are the two guys I think about.
Two good shouts there, both of them.
Day one guys been presented as like, especially Hangman's been presented as a top guy from the beginning, even though he never won the belt until further on. They basically told you like from day one, like this guy's gonna win the belt. They told you like straight up, this guy's gonna go win the belt, and it might take him X amount of time, but he's gonna do it. And he's our homegrown guy. He's our homegrown baby face, other than Cody, I guess.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they were both established before though, like Hangman, but not as a babyface. So that's what we talked about before.
That's true. He was
Hangman was a fucking pure fucking heel, hanging people from the fucking ring.
Damn.
Like,
yeah, that's one of the like the when some detractors say AEW doesn't build stars, I say like that's kind of bullshit. They've built a shitload of stars. What are you guys talking about? Like, and Hangman, MJF would be like the two. Orange Cassidy, Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker. I could go on.
Darby.
Darby's a huge star now, whether you like him or not, right? Like you don't like him, but you admit it, right? He's a star.
He's a star.
Exactly. Like, and there's way more. I mean, the fucking guns.
Oh,
You say what you want about those guys. Those guys started off as absolutely nothing. They started
the
as
Acclaimed.
They weren't even jobbers. They were.
The Acclaimed.
The Acclaimed. The Acclaimed's an even better example, honestly.
Yeah, like,
they were literal, absolute, like
comedy
jobbers. Comedy jobbers.
Yeah, on Dark.
And that's a team that also, from what I heard, like that's a team Tony, like much like FTR in where Triple H decided to put them together in NXT. Acclaimed were a team that like TK decided to put together and we're like, try this out, and it worked. So that's another, like, don't buy into that. Both WWE and AEW, when people say those two companies can't build stars, nonsense.
Yeah,
absolute nonsense.
Also, a lot of people detract, especially during the black and gold era, like, oh, it was just indie talent. It was just indie stars. They just plucked indie stars. Yeah, but that's still something to be able to take an indie star and make them a main.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
A main guy. Like, yeah, Tyler Black had success in ROH. Tyler Black was never going to be freaking Rollins.
No, and people, and I'm one of those people who's done that in the past too. I think people also kind of like inflate how a lot of these people were over in the indies, and I'm going to make some exceptions. Joe, knockout talent, can't miss. I'm not going to count him as a guy they took a risk on. But like Tyler Black, yes, was over in ROH, but like he was not like some guy that like people were saying is going to be the next like rock star WWE guy. They still have to do the work.
And Gargano and Ciampa.
Gargano especially. Gargano was not even the most over person in his family on the indies. Candice was a bigger star than he was, and that's just a fact.
Yeah.
Candice was super over in PWG
with Joey.
With Joey and like her feuds against like the Bucks and stuff was super over. Gargano was not really a big Cole. I would argue was a big indie star. He was
Adam Cole definitely was.
He was a can't miss guy. Same with Kevin Owens, can't miss. But not everybody was like even Sami Zayn. Like El Generico was over, but he was also a jobber character in the indies. Like he won world titles, but it still took some work to make him a super big star.
And none of that, you can't even count that because they took what was he was identified as. Like,
yeah,
not everybody knew that fucking Sami Zayn was El Generico for.
No, they didn't. And I mean, like and even without those guys, WWE has still built up guys from the bottom. Your Braun Breakers, Tiffany Stratton. I mean, we talked about her earlier.
Oh yeah,
Mello, bunch of guys, especially guys that. I have a little bit of the hiccups. Yeah, like there's just I don't buy into any of that, and on both companies, it's ludicrous. Don't believe that like only WWE and AEW have only pushed guys that were already established before.
Yeah,
it's nonsense, absolute nonsense. Honestly, I think both companies right now are doing a really good job at using a lot of their younger talent. Mind you, like WWE has a lot of older champions right now, but you can still see the work they're doing to like build up, and they have to. I think WWE as a side note, like they know they have to build up a lot of guys because almost all their top guys are like in their late 30s, early 40s, and that's not going to last forever. So they need to build up the other people so they can get like like your Randy Orton has only got so much time left.
And he doesn't need another title.
No, and even guys like KO, he's not that old, but like we talk about the indies, like that dude's got a lot of miles. So like and working a very crazy style. So those guys aren't going to be around forever. So like,
and even LA Knight.
LA Knight's in his 40s.
LA Knight. He's a hot phenom who's old.
And quite frankly, I think that like if he doesn't win the title within the year, he's never going to win it because he's too old. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean they definitely need to reward him for being able to get over as much as he has. Like you said, it's not easy to get over as a babyface. And
It's not. It's really, really hard, and quite frankly, it's a curse too because a lot of times what happens, and it hasn't happened with a lot of people in WWE in the last year or so, but this the babyface curse of the usually a lot what happens is the second you win the title, half the fucking fan base turns on you online.
Yeah, I would say
really
kinda,
weird.
it's kind of happened to Rollins. I've seen some people already turning on him. Kind of.
Okay, they are, but with Rollins, I think that's different. I don't think anybody is turning on Rollins' performances. I think people really don't like the booking of him.
That's probably true.
The
Though,
the,
yeah.
the, the back injury angle sucks.
the booking has been shitty lately. His character work is phenomenal, but it can be grating. That's kind of what the character is. He's grating, and more than likely he's going to be the heel if Steam and CM Punk feud. Not to me,
Yeah,
not,
say.
not to me. But like, I mean,
I agree with you though. I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
I hate to say it, but fucking people are eating up Punk being back, so whatever.
Well, they're gonna abuse it until I'm gonna use one of his lines. Until the wheels fall off. They're gonna ride him until the wheels fall off. Whether that means him being injured or having a little muffin tantrum. So, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good shit though on both companies this week. I'll say.
Yeah, it's a good time to be a wrestling fan, and TNA is on the up and up. That's always nice. I mean, TNA could really turn themselves into a viable through third option that isn't just fringe. Like they could be
Yep.
back to where they were, like back when Hogan was there and stuff like that. Like,
I
like,
think
and
I think ideally, to go off your point, I think they could be a third, and I think like the same way that AEW is the WWE alternative, TNA could kind of be like AEW's alternative. Where like, okay, I don't really like WWE's presentations, or maybe I don't like XYZ about WWE, but the more work rate centric and storytelling in AEW is not really my style. No, TNA might be a good place for you because they do a lot of character based angles. They do a lot of comedy stuff as well. They're big on that, and I think they remind me a lot of NXT, of current NXT,
yeah,
in a lot of ways,
I mean,
with
yeah, I
better
mean
talent.
NXT and ROH are going to be the connected to AEW and WWE.
Yeah.
So they're not really considered different, not going to be ever considered different options. But TNA is good, especially if I mean I just hope they continue with the production going up,
Yes,
putting money into it, hiring, paying talent. Hopefully they got everything all that worked out where they can actually have money flow. This Endeavor deal that they're doing is probably going to help with that a lot.
I think so too.
Um,
A better, more accessible app is always a
yeah.
good thing.
Hopefully they
Uh,
are smart. Put the weekly show on it.
That
Live.
would be optimal.
Not like behind like the YouTube one is.
Yeah, I don't want to
Kinda.
pay for two things. That's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go to YouTube to watch anything, to be honest with you.
I'd rather not.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No.
I luckily got the channel that it comes on. I'm one of the few households that actually gets the channel.
Yeah, that has access. Yeah.
Yeah.
Access to access.
Yeah, exactly.
But even actually, the future, because my up in northern Maine, strangely enough, my parents, my mom, they have access on their cable package up there or whatever they have. So when I've been out there to watch it, a few times I've watched it, it's just very hard to. It's very hard because it was not a very good like finished product. It was just very clunky and commercials. It's just I need some flow. I need it to be like easily accessible and easy to watch. And like if I can fast forward through commercials, that's definitely a plus too. You know.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Like,
because like, I mean, I personally am lucky. I watch AEW on Fight, but I used to watch Raw, like with the commercials live, and it's like I can't do it anymore. It's so much and it's so long, and like life's too short for like watching this shit, man. Like, oh man.
like if it wasn't for like sometimes I want to pipe in on LBs and talk to people,
Yeah,
but like
that's the only thing.
but to be honest with you, it's really not that. Like Raw is just a fucking I can fight with Savs any other time. I don't need to go.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and Raw's in a unique situation. Like the third hour is just so it just makes the show such a chore to watch, even if it's a good show.
Yeah.
like I say a few times, I hate that I'm a wrestling fan because there's sometimes where I just want to go to sleep early, and I'm like, but fuck, I want to watch wrestling and chat with the people while I'm watching it.
No, I get it, man. I get it.
I just go watch most things through fast forward now. I'll even watch matches at double speed sometimes to get through them. It's just
Hey, you
because
got
I'm more of a wrestling fan that likes interviews and
the backstage
character work
stuff.
more than I really give a fuck about in-ring work. So
Which is
like
yeah.
for me, it's really not that. I'd be like, yeah, did you see that spot? I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Like cool spots are cool, whatever. And like matches like the matches we had at the PLE last night, like yeah, those matches I'll watch those. Those are fucking cool shit. The war games shit I'll watch. But just a regular wrestling match, I'll watch it double speed. It's not. I like characters. I always have. That's what I mean. I grew up watching the Golden Era, which is
very character based. That's all it was.
It's all character based.
I mean, in fact, a lot of the wrestling back then was like a lot of it was not very good. Like the in-ring
it's
stuff.
basic.
Yeah,
It's basic. Like my favorite wrestlers growing up were like Dusty Rhodes and the Ultimate Warrior, like character based guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say not guys like known for their in-ring prowess necessarily, right? So.
Ultimate Warrior definitely I've faded on. Now I don't look
Fair,
back
I mean,
at him at all as any type of love at all.
Fair enough.
But like then I ended up liking guys like Randy Savage more as I got older, even though he was a fucking heel. But I never cared for Hogan. That was the weird thing.
Yes.
Growing up as a kid in the 80s, I was never a Hogan guy.
Savage, when I was like growing up, kind of, he was my favorite. Like I went to this one like WCW like house show or whatever, and like they kept doing like the same people over, and I fell asleep. Savage came out there. My dad made sure to wake me up because he knew how much I liked him. Like,
Yeah.
He's like,
Savage could go in the ring too, though.
He could go in the ring too, but he was character times fucking 3,000, man. That guy was
the blueprint.
Always on.
He's the blueprint for a lot of character work now, I'd say.
Oh yeah. Every like the influence, like Hogan got the flowers, but the influence on people don't say, Hulk Hogan was a major influence on my wrestling style. No, it's Macho. It's Macho. It's Hall and Nash. It's fucking those guys are influenced people. Dusty Rhodes. Dusty with promo style was.
Yeah, it was the reason he was teaching promo class.
Yeah, Dusty's promos were the epitome of makes you feel like you're one of like we talked about, the everyday guy. Like
everyday man. Yeah, he's the first. He's like the classic.
He's just a common man.
Which I find is funny because I find Cody the complete opposite. And I know he's super over, but Cody compared to Dusty is such a fucking phony. Like he's the complete opposite.
He's not the everyday common man, that's for sure. And it's so funny, he's still using the American Nightmare even though he's a face.
Yeah.
That's just Cody being Cody though.
What was that?
It's just a tumble. It's all good. But yeah, like it's been a really great week, like we said. I'm looking forward for next week. We've got week 4 of the tournament, Capital Classic, no, Continental Classic. It sounds like a hotel breakfast tournament. And then we've got ROH Final Battle. I don't know if it's on Friday or Saturday.
I think it's a Friday.
The last show was on Friday. The last pay-per-view was on Friday. So I think.
Let me see, because I know that it's a Friday because it's almost.
It's not going to be Saturday because then they would be going up against Collision. They were not going to go their own show. Duh.
I mean, they kind of were with Rampage, but Rampage is probably the C show of the other 3.
Yeah, Rampage. They're probably going to dump down Rampage this week if it's for sure, because like they won't want people to do that. But there's some good stuff coming up this week. I think on Monday this week for Raw, there's like the Punk decision or the potential Punk decision.
The decision.
Yeah. Some fucking LeBron James bullshit.
Speaking of decision, I like how they had Orton after his decision RKO'd oh, it's like this week he paid him like
That was great. That
he
was
paid him
fantastic.
100,000 instead of the 50s. Like, it's for next time. He's just straight
Did you, did you hear about that, Jeff, on SmackDown?
What's that?
That Punk paid his fine, but the fine was 50,000, and Magnus goes, I'm not Magnus, but Nick Aldis goes, this was for 100. It was only 50. He's like, that's for the next time.
Yeah, or it's like this for the.
Oh, okay. So you said Punk, but I guess you meant Orton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just paid up front for the next one. Like it's going to happen again.
I heard some of the. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I heard like the Punk promo thing where he mentioned like punching people backstage. At first, I rolled my eyes, but then I'm like, whatever. It's like really not that big of a deal.
The crowd didn't even get it. Like
they did.
That's what I heard. I think it was like the worst crowd to do that to because WWE's crowd is already way more casual, but to do it at like half these people are here for free and like, they don't fucking know any of this shit. They probably don't even know what fucking AEW is.
If you'd have done
the rest of this promo went over well.
The rest of the promo went over well. That's good.
It went over well because he just threw casual barbs at everybody. And he mentioned how he's like, I'm not at the end now, so I'm not gonna get kid off this time. Fucking.
Gee golly, gee, happy to be here. Fucking.
No, that wasn't there anymore.
I saw that fucking act for a year in AEW.
So it was funny right at one point. Chris mentioned he don't like Happy Go Lucky Punk, and like not even like 5 or 10 seconds later, Punk called himself Happy Go Lucky Punk. He I was like, damn, this man's out here reading the 4-minute promo.
Goddamn. But we'll see where it goes. I saw he's laying in the seeds with Owens and Seth and all that stuff. So
the Owens backstage interaction was good. Because he's like, he faked knocking on the door of the Bloodline, the locker room, and then he runs into Owens, and he's like, do you know where Nick Aldis's place is? And Kevin's just like, no. And just walks off.
Yeah.
Grumpy old Kevin. That's good stuff. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some entertaining stuff. We'll see where it goes, and we'll see how long it stays good and how what he's got set up for the Rumble. I guess it's the next step. The Rumble for WWE. The next step.
Yeah, Rumble coming up soon, and then we'll see if we still want to do a live of the Rumble. I'm down.
I think I want to. I think we're going to try to do a live show of the Rumble.
Hopefully we can figure out a good way to do it, because shit, that'd be so good. Like someone like 5-10 seconds ahead, like Jeff usually is.
I mean, I have my TV that I can set up beside my computer. I just need to get like a second monitor to set it up as a secondary monitor, and I can do it. So it's definitely doable.
Absolutely.
All right, boys. We'll wrap it up here because we're almost at 2 hours, so we don't really have much time to get into any other subject.
Yeah, I'm losing my voice too. So
I gotta go to bed too. It's getting late. I gotta work at 7 tomorrow. So.
Yeah, man, you get yourself some sleep.
I do like customer service.
Oh,
like I've always been.
From
home.
From home. But I'm not going to say anything else because I don't want to talk about my shoot job too much on the public.
I was just because you're always on. I'm like, does Jeff have a job?
Yeah. I work full time. It's just some days are more busy than others. But no, I got my
money.
My dad has a great job, but no, I'm a bum. But no.
So am I, brother. So am I.
Thanks for everybody who tuned in for the show.
Hey Blaze, I'm proud of you. You didn't say "ain't" once this entire.
Oh, we didn't even get the counter up.
I didn't get the fucking sign up because
I know
he didn't say it. As soon as he said it, I was gonna put it, but he didn't.
But as usual,
ruining my fun.
Jake, thanks for coming on 3 weeks in a row.
No problem, bro.
Always a pleasure. Blaze, it's been awesome to see you again. It's been a couple of weeks since we've had you on the show.
Yeah, lost the internet and then was sick for a bit, so
we're all glad to see you are feeling much better, my friend.
Yeah.
And so thanks for everybody tuning in. We'll see you next week. Peace out.